So you may be asking yourself, why are we looking at Masterpiece Soundwave? I thought we were going to be looking at some Siege figures. Well, we are. The reason I'm actually showing these guys off with Masterpiece Soundwave is because he can do something that Siege cannot. You know that old scene in the cartoon where they just shoot out of his chest? Well, you can actually recreate that action with this. So you basically just press the button on his back and out he flies. So as you guys have surmised from the title, we are taking a look at Ratbat, and in this house, the red one is Frenzy.
Someday I'll be giving the orders, Rumble.
Get over it if you have an issue. Now, the reason these guys, as you may have just briefly seen, is, okay, let's real talk for a second. This thing about these guys, that they're arm shields, that line of reasoning is about as thin as truck stop toilet paper, okay? So another reason for that just being ridiculous is with these two guys especially, you can see basically, you know, all of his bits are exposed. He's not going to be very effective as a shield, especially if a laser blast hits him in the head, and it's even worse for, you know, for Frenzy over here. I mean, they are just totally exposed because you can't even flip these around. They have to plug in and face outward this way. But how do they serve if you wanted to use them actually as Cybertronian tapes? As you are now aware of, they can actually fit inside of Masterpiece Soundwave's tape deck. So before we actually transform them, let's take a little bit of an in-depth look at their detailing, which, I mean, spot on. So, you know, whether you want to use them for a shield or a data tape, it's definitely spot on, except for what we kind of briefly looked at before. But the same kind of goes, again, for Frenzy over here, is, you know, this side. Love the amount of detailing and sculpting. This side, though, is just kind of a shambles. But aside from that, how these guys do whenever you actually transform them. So in looking at these guys, I think it's pretty obvious that it looks like Ratbat is kind of meant to be the premier, you know, rock star of the set. And to be honest, he is my favorite between the two. Just because I feel that he's executed a little bit more decently as far as, you know, with everything that it had to do. I mean, not to, you know, diss Frenzy over here, because the detailing for his robot mode is really where he shines. You know, his hands are molded in there for both arms, so you can attach whatever blast effects, you know, to, I guess, kind of imitate his pile drivers. Which, speaking of, guys, here he is with Masterpiece Rumble. Yes, I didn't put the guns on him. The reason being, I just didn't want to. Okay, let's all chill out. That is another thing that he is lacking also. And I get it, it's unfair to compare these two guys to each other, but I just wanted to show you guys how they look in comparison to each other. Here's another one. The stark difference is that you actually could put these two together on the same shelf and they wouldn't look as weird as if you tried to put Rumble and Frenzy together. So again, that's just another credit to how awesome I think Ratbat is doing. So you guys saw how they scaled with Megatron. Well, here they are in comparison to the new updated version of Tribronticus, if you want to call him that. So at the end of the day, whether you call the red guy Frenzy or Rumble, is he and Ratbat worth it? Yeah, I mean, especially if you're going to be trying to get all of the tape shield collection for Soundwave or Sound Blaster. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that review of these two fellows. And until next time, guys, we will see you in another review.